I'm living in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam. I'm working as a global innovation project manager. And so my English maybe not the best one, but well, I'm assuming that we can discuss a little bit on this line of products that are very nice and innovative. So James already made a quick introduction. So I'm actually a pharmacist, and I had a master's in dermatology and foot protection, and also I had a PhD, which was divided into two chapters, one in skin and transdermals, which I did in Brazil, and then another in nanotechnology and ecotoxicology, and that's why we are actually so concerned about the impact on the nature, which this part I have conducted in the University of Paris. And then I continued to study nanobiotechnology also in Brazil. So far, we have published some articles and books about the use of innovative products and innovative vehicles for the compounding pharmacies. As James also said, I worked previously as a professor, and then, well, I'm here taking the challenge in Fagron as a global innovation project manager, which has been amazing so far. So the reason of today talk is to discuss a little bit and to show you a little of our line of products, which is called Trichoconcept, which is actually an innovative solution for topical hair restoration formulations. So it's actually a range of vehicles which are compounding bases for topical solutions. So we have here, we are here presenting a solution for the APIs for the drugs that are in the market. So minoxidil, finasteride, dutasteride, estradiol, tretinoin, and all other APIs that can be used for the hair loss or other conditions for the scalp, but with a lot of functionalities that increase and that add value to the treatment. And that's why the Trichoconcept has what we call Trichotech, which is a patented technology. So we have developed that to our group, and it's composed of a lot of different ingredients that I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. And these actually makes the products, make the vehicles to increase proliferation of fibroblasts and also the collagen synthesis and also some growth factors, which is obviously very nice to be adjuvant in your treatment. And also a very important factor, which is the Trichoconcept is a natural alternative. So this means that we have natural ingredients which are validated, scientific studied, but also organic and well, we are actually taking very good care of the environment when we are discussing about this product. We can use that for multiple formulations, and of course, it also needs to be patient friendly. So it has a good smell, it feels good. So I'm pretty sure that the patient will really like and adhere to the treatment. So this line of products, we have the Tricosol, the Trichofoam, Tricho oil, serum, cream, cone, and wash. For today, we are going to focus on the Tricosol and the Trichofoam, but all the vehicles, they contain the Trichotech, which is the patented formulation with all the natural and functional ingredients. But wow, the Tricosol, as the name says, it's focused to produce solutions. So you can use it to produce, for example, a minoxidil solution or a finasteride solution, and you can use that to be used in a packaging with a dropper, for example, so you can control the amount of the product that will be used. And the Trichofoam is, of course, to produce foams, which is also very well accepted by a great range of patients. Both they have the same amount of applications you can use for the ingredients, for the APIs that we have. And we also have, for example, the Trichol wash and cones that can be used alone or in combination for washing the hair and conditioning the hair. But let's understand a little bit on how it works. The Tricotech was developed in Brazil, actually in a farm very close to where I lived. I used to live. And well, this was developed to be a natural alternative, and it actually contains 7 different essential oils in the formulation. So we have lavandula, eucalyptus, Juniperus virginiana, and communis. We also have melaleuca, rosmarinus, and amyris. All those ingredients, they are organic, and all those ingredients have been chosen based on their possible role on the scalp, on the growth of the hair. And that's important because we are talking about a vehicle which can be used to solubilize those APIs like minoxidil or finasteride, but also they have already a function. They can be adjuvants and they can increase the action of those components because they can actually play a role on the fibroblast growth factor, for example. They are all responsibly sourced. So here's a photo of the farm in Brazil. The products are EcoCert certified, and they have a full range of controlling situations. They are actually planted by hand, so it's a very natural and very organic way to produce the blend, which is the Tricotech, to be used in our formulations. And also a very important factor that we always are really concerned is that we don't have non-irritants or controversial ingredients. So for example, we don't have dioxins or benzyl benzoates, triclosan, lanolin, propylene glycol, parabens. It doesn't contain any conservant, preservative, artificial preservative, for example. The same oils, essential oils that give the functionality of the vehicles, they also give the preservation of the system. And we have conducted a lot of tests showing how they actually make the product to be stable for a wide period of time. And also, it's important to say that it's a solution for components that already are in the market as ethanolic solution or propylene glycol solutions. But well, so why we don't have ethanol in our formulation to increase the solubility of the APIs? Well, ethanol in skin, it is actually a very good enhancer, permeation enhancer. And here we have a study, a very recent study from 2020 showing how ethanol acts as a permeation enhancer. And this study was conducted by Gupta and also Mitragotti, which are amazing researchers. Mitragotti works on Harvard, so they are really well known on this subject, on the permeation process. And yes, here we can see that what ethanol does is actually disrupting the structure of the skin, which is actually what in some extent we want, because we want the APIs to enter the skin. But what he does is actually solubilizing and destabilizing the fatty acids of the cell membrane. So it actually targets the fatty acids and extracts them. And this is very fast. So what happens is that, well, it's creating pores to the API enter, but at the same time, they are withdrawing, depleting the fatty acids that we have. And that's why we feel the skin being dry after the use, because they are actually taking out the lipids that we have in our skin. And of course, when you use that for 1 day or 2 days, that can be tolerated. But when you have chronic treatments, you need to use that for a long period of time. Then we can start seeing problems, and also patients complaining about dryness, not only of the scalp, but also of the hair. Also, we have some evidences that it can be, in some small extent, be absorbed, not only ethanol, but also the metabolite with the acetaldehyde, which is obviously something that happens in a small extent, but we can avoid if we don't use ethanol. And also, it's proved to be one of the causes of some intolerances to the skin, and can also cause allergic contact dermatitis. It happens to all the patients? No, but we have a group of patients that can have complaints on that, because it potentially can cause cirrhosis, ICD, or ACD, actually more rarely, but this can happen. So we have decided to not put ethanol in our products. And another component that we have decided to not put in our products was the propylene glycol. Actually, the permeation mechanism of propylene glycol is not yet fully understood, but what is supposed to happen is what we call carrier solvent. So it actually increases the solubility of the API. So if the API already has the ability to cross the stratocorneum, they can obviously enter more easily, because the particle size is smaller when the solubility is higher. This is the possible mechanisms. But well, in 2018, the American Contact Dermatitis Society elected him as the allergen of the year for the skin. So it's obviously something that we do not want it to put in our formulation, because it can actually cause sensory irritation. We are avoiding to use propylene glycol in our all of our products, not only for the scalp, but also for the skin on the all parts of the body. And we have some data showing that we have a higher incidence of contact allergy when using the propylene glycol in atopic patients. So that's why we have chosen to work with essential oils. But then you can ask, well, you are not using ethanol and propylene glycol that can act as permeation enhancers. How you can how you can provide absorption of the components? Well, the essential oils are also permeation enhancers, and they are emulsified, because both tricosol and trichophone, they are hydrophilic, so they are water-based. And for putting oils in water-based vehicle, we make an emulsification process to make a mixture of the both components. And that's why we can put in tricosol and trichophone both the hydrophilic APIs and the lipophilic APIs. And well, natural enhancers such as the essential oils have been the most desirable candidates for enhancing percutaneous drug delivery. They present the essential oils, they are in this class of natural penetration enhancers, and they are able to significantly enhance the penetration of hydrophilic and lipophilic, and they are generally recognized as safe by the FDA. So they are safe products to be used according to the FDA, and the essential oils are natural and do not damage the skin. So that's the reason why we have decided to go for the natural, for the organic solution. And well, at the same time that they can increase the permeation of the APIs, they also have their own functionality on the dermal papilla with fibroblasts and the collagen. And that's what we're going to see now, how the Trichotech really works, enhancing, being an adjuvant of the treatments. So let's start showing this study that was conducted with the Trichotech. Actually, this was the first study that we have conducted during the development phase of the product. This first test, it's probably very known by you. It's the MTT assay, which measures the viability of cells. And for that, we have chosen fibroblast cells to evaluate. We can show here by the graph that uh, as you increase the concentration of the Trichotech, the viability of the cells also increase. So we can see an enhancement of the fibroblast proliferation. So this test is usually used to verify if the product is dangerous to the fibroblast. And here we see the opposite. The fibroblasts actually proliferate more in the presence of the Trichotech. And it is a dose dependent. So apart from starting from 1.5%, we have a significant difference compared to the control. So this is for fibroblasts, but we also have evaluated the percentage of collagen into the scalp using cell culture. And here again, we can see that we have an increase in the collagen content, and this is dose dependent. Also, we have statistically significant differences. So the first studies that we have conducted, we have seen that both fibroblasts and collagen, they are increased when using Trichotech. And in this case, Trichotech is being used in isolation. For those tests, the vehicle itself already has a very important role in the scope. Also, a very nice result that we have here is for the wound healing effect. This test is called scratch test, which is basically consisting of picking up a cell culture and making a scratch on it using a pipette. So you physically separate the cells and you count the migration rate of the fibroblasts to close this scratch that you have conducted. Well, we can see here that the untreated group, the Trichotech with 1% and the Trichotech with 2%. So look the difference on the amount of fibroblasts that are closing, that are finishing the effect and the activity of the healing of this wound, which means that, well, it's totally related to the amount of fibroblasts and collagen that the Trichotech can improve, can increase. So it stimulates the natural effect of wound healing that we have, which is also a function of the vehicle, which we cannot find in other bases. If you are using a vehicle only with ethanol or only with propylene glycol, they will solubilize the API, but they do not have this additional effect that the Trichotech contains. And also, we have measured by real-time quantitative PCR, which is currently is very famous because it's the same technique to measure SARS-CoV-2 in the swabs. Well, and here we have evaluated FGF7 and FGF10. And again, here we can see in blue the control, and in red we can see the treatments with 1% and 2% of Trichotech, which the Trichoconcept has 2% of Trichotech. And we can actually see that we have a much higher expression of the RNA of both fibroblast growth factor and 7 and 10, which obviously have a role in development of fibroblasts and collagen. And we have this effect even in 1%. And also, we have conducted a clinical study showing the effects of the Trichotech, the Tricosol and Trichophone, for example, in human subjects. And for this study, we have used the Trichotech and the minoxidil in Tricosol. So we have used an untreated group, a group treated with minoxidil, 3% with Tricosol, and minoxidil 3% in alcohol, and only Tricosol actually. And what we can see here is that actually the minoxidil 3% during 90 days, so the treatment were for 3 months, they increased the percentage of the hair shafts in the anagen phase. This happened in both sexes, both men and women, and this is an important result because this study was conducted with not a really high amount of subjects, but it shows the potential that the tricosol has to deliver, to increase the effect of the minoxidil. Because if we see here, the effect of minoxidil with tricosol was higher than the effect of minoxidil with alcohol. Actually, the effect of minoxidil with alcohol was practically the same of only tricosol with only the vehicle in isolation. So what we can infer from that is that both minoxidil and tricosol, they act together, they act as adjuvants, increasing in synergy to have a great effect of in the anagen phase of the hair shafts. But you cannot use only minoxidil with the tricosol and trichophone. The Trichoconcept has been studied for different APIs or vitamins and supplements. So you can use prostaglandins analogs, anti-androgens, anti-inflammatory agents, vasodilators, collagen synthesis stimulators, vitamins, minerals, insulin-like growth factors, and immunosuppressors. Because, well, you know better than anybody the treatments that we are going to use, and for each patient we can use different approaches, and that's why we have developed a solution that can be applied for a broad range of APIs, and those APIs with tricosol and trichophone were studied in terms of stability, in terms of compatibility, in terms of physical, chemical, and microbiological assessments for the final products. So we have a very safe and stable product to be used in pharmaceutical terms, because we are talking about a solution to not only solubilize, but also to make the API have a greater extent of permeation through the stratum corneum of the scalp. And well, so what we can actually say is that the Tricotech is the formulation that we have developed and showed a very good profile of solubilization of APIs, of permeation of APIs, together with safety to the patient. And it does not contain controversial ingredients because it's fully 100% natural, and it can be used for multiple formulations and not only for single APIs, but you can also use combinations of APIs. We have a compatibility table for that. It will be shared with you after this webinar, and so you can check all the APIs that you can use and the concentration range that can be used and that it was studied. So to sum up, the tricosol and the trichophone concepts, they are innovative because they are The only compounding basis currently in the market that does not contain that full range of irritants. They are compatible with a wide range of active ingredients, and they are organically, responsibly sourced natural oils to improve the patient experience and adherence. And also, an important point that I want to stress here is that Fagron works in continuously improvement and continuously generating scientific evidence of the products that we have and that we developed and that we put in the market, which means that we already have studies for that, but we are always conducting more studies. We have a series of case reports for the use of the APIs of the drugs with the tricosol or the trichophone. This is also something that we can share with you because it is already being used in a broad range of countries. So it was developed in Brazil, but is used already extensively in Europe. So, for example, Italy, Netherlands, Greece, Germany, France, Spain. Well, yeah, it's widely used in European territory because it has actually a great potential to increase the experience of the patient because it smells good, it has a great sensory, and of course the patient see the results because you have the API, the cosmetic ingredient which is synergistically acting together with the tricotech that we have in the tricosol and trichophone and the other components that we have. So I would like to thank you for this time. This was a brief explanation of the topic of the subject. I'm very happy again to be here to talk to you, and we are open to questions. James is also here to help with questions related to the UK market itself. So yeah, that's what we have to present for you today, and I really hope you have enjoyed. Thank you for the attention.